Support Kush Sessions on patreon.com/Kush Sessions.
So many things seem impossible for you to do, I know. When it comes to me, I'm low in your priorities, oh. You don't care about me, so I stopped caring about you. Now I'm on a roll, oh, 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 oh.
All right, guys, what is going on? What is good? What is good? Man, it's been a wild couple days, I'll tell you that. And an interesting 2024 so far. Know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying, chat? And you know what? Now that I think of it, Friday's stream might have been members only. I feel like that's probably why we didn't have a lot of people on. I don't know. YouTube just rearranges my settings for no reason. But yeah, Naruto, look at that sniper, man. I think you had that on Friday, right? I could have sworn. Just so y'all know, I'll be watching this, but I don't think this is a long, just so you know. Because I think it's missing some context. I think the price is all right, but it's missing context, and for that reason, I'm not going to long this here, but I am going to watch it. Just so y'all know. All right, I know this is live price, and you might think imbalance within a mitigation. I mean, you're not wrong, but I don't know what the upside is here. And we don't really have relative strength down here to show strength on the side of Nasdaq. We don't have anything here, so I'm going to relax and just watch it. Just so y'all know, all right? But yeah, so what's good, Monkey? What's good, Alex C, Felix, Maximiliano, Ebernith, Beverly? Welcome back. Welcome back. Naruto, oh yeah, saw that earlier. But yeah, what's good, Naruto? What's good, Dante, Nikki, Nina G, Shay Millie, Sean, Trillionaire, Cameron Climb, Ben. What is that? Is that a mountain? Oh, highest mountain in the UK in Scotland. Okay. I should have read that message all the way through before asking. Very nice, Cameron. That's good. That's good. What's good, Mr. Kesha, Stephanie, Edgar? We got a lot of people on today, man. You guys are ready or what? You guys are ready, huh? But, God, these other indices look so bad. They look so bad. But yeah, I'm going to watch it here. If I wanted to be bullish, I would long this. But I'm not. Okay? Just so y'all know. I think I wasn't up for this at 9:15. Probably should have been, but I wasn't. And that's all right. There's kind of a reason for that. But, you know. In case y'all didn't know, my left eye is like blurry because I'm taking some eye drops. I got something scratched my eye the other day. Shit fucked me up, dude. I had to go to the emergency room. I wasn't crying, just so y'all know. I just want to make that a fact. All right, just so we're clear. I wasn't crying, all right? Never did. But yeah, there was like an eye wash station, cold water, bro. Shit was crazy. But she said I had a scratch on my eye. I didn't have any like anything that was in my eye. They didn't have to like take anything out, but she was like, yeah, you have a scratch on your left side, you know, you'll take these eye drops 3 times a day for like a week. I'm like, okay. But I guess I've just been sleeping in a lot, you know, because of that. So yeah, they were cool people. They were cool people. She was like, you handled this really well. Not knowing that I like teach stoic philosophy, right? But it's cool. I was like, yeah, it's fine. But that's where I'm at. So I can see the charts, obviously, and that's enough. So that's all I really need anyway. Who needs to see down the street? Who needs any of that, right? When you can see the charts. But anyway. I don't really have a plan for today outside of we could probably review this morning for Nasdaq, the indices all together, and then I guess I'll talk a little bit about book of the month for April. It's probably going to be a book that most of you are going to take more than a month to read. Does anybody know what book of the month is? Oh, drop a like on the stream if you guys are here. The like button works now. It wasn't working the other day. Now it works. What's good, Pavlos? So who knows what book of the month is for April? And we're not fooling around today. We are getting somewhat of a decent reaction here at this imbalance. Dow Jones is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Yeah, I feel like Nasdaq's going to have the better price action for the PM session today. Felix says, money from Tony Robbins. When have you ever heard me talk about Tony Robbins, bro? I don't have anything against Tony Robbins. I just can't listen to him. I don't know if it's his voice or what. I just can't. I've heard good things about his content, but I just can't. I don't know. I can't do it. Can't do it, bro. But that's just me. No hate. No hate for Tony. I just can't do it. But yeah, Cameron Nartosi trades. Stephanie. 48 Laws of Power. You'd be correct. 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Which I do have the collector's one, which is only like $55 now, by the way. But yeah, book of the month for April this year. 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. And it is kind of a brick of a book. All right. I won't lie to you. It's a brick. When you get to the selected bibliography, the last page of the actual book is 430 pages. And they're very lengthy pages. Can you guys see that? Yeah. So this is the reason I don't usually give you guys long books like this is because number one, I have a hard enough time getting you to fucking read short books, smaller books. That's a challenge in itself, right? Because I don't control what you do, I only control what I do. So it's a bitch trying to get you guys to buy the books to begin with. So, you know, and yeah, I'm talking shit because you guys don't fucking read. And then to be able to step up your reading level and go, okay, I'm used to smaller books. I'm used to normal 200, maybe 300 page books. And now you're throwing a brick at me, dude. But there's a reason why. That's actually not a bad reaction here. We're respecting that imbalance at the discount end of the premium end of the mitigation if you want to complicate shit. I do good to listen to my audiobooks with a friggin' toddler and my teenager. That's fine. Tell them to listen to. Tell them to listen to 48 Laws of Power as well. What's good, Jock Joe? John throwing shade. Nah, I'm just trying to get you to read. That's all, man. That's all. I just want you to read. Here's, let me tell you how I did it. What's a stoic to approach getting a flu? Well, I would say, I've never answered that before, but I would say, look, you can only control, I want to say you can't control whether you get sick or not, but I don't entirely believe that because there are certain precautions you could take, you know, getting sunlight, being healthy. I'm not a doctor, but that could probably help you not get sick, right? But certain sicknesses that, you know, go around via the air, whatever, like you get sick randomly, it happens. So you really don't have control over that. You have like partial control whether you get sick or not. But let's just assume for argument's sake, if we had to pick a side, it would be you don't control if you get sick or not. So, okay, you get sick. Boom. You got the flu. The flu's a bitch. So what probably happens, depending on the severity of it, is you probably don't have energy. And if you're sick, I would probably drink a lot of fluids. Maybe, you know, the chicken noodle soup, stuff like that, whatever. But just to take care of yourself, I would use that time of, I guess, if you're not going to work, if you're not going out and doing things, I would try to utilize that time to catch up on reading or, you know, find the most productive way to use that time. And if you're too sick to read or if you can't focus, then just rest, honestly. And sometimes that's the only thing you can do, and that might be the best thing you can do. So you really just have to say, it is what it is. I can only do my best. I can only do what's within my control. And as long as I'm doing that, then I'm doing everything I can. And there's nothing more to do. Understanding the universe will ask you to sit in stillness and accept things you cannot control. I would agree that accepting what you can't control is definitely something that I can go for. You talked about macro times. What exactly is this time window? So the macro like time windows, off the top of my head, I don't know. But it's, fuck, I'd have to go look at it. Basically, and this is, I believe it translates over into currency, but currencies I think have a different time window. The the review that I did for that trading model, the macro time windows, I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong, but you asked, so I have to answer. I think it's the 40 minutes in between each hour. So like if you have 11, I think it's 11:10 to 10:50, or I mean 11:50, like some shit like that. I'm not entirely sure. So what their model is, I guess, based off of is not just obviously the like levels of liquidity, whatever, but it means that those setups here have to occur within that macro time window, which is basically no different than time price context. It's basically no different than what I've already taught you. It's just those macro times are very small time frame. So like it could be the first and last 10 minutes of an hour, or, you know, shit like that. I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't entirely use them. So that's why I don't know. Because for me, I'm looking at equities open, which is here. Okay. And now we'll just hop right into the review. And now we're trading into that lower imbalance. I wouldn't have wanted that if I was long. So I'm looking at equities open 18,500, basically 18 and a half. Okay. If you pay attention to these highs, there's a reason that those are there. So we have London's high is the higher one up here. Okay. That's London's high. This is like just a London high, not the highest, but just a London high. So you can see that at 8:40, so basically right at our open, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes after the equities open on a new week, on a new month, we trade higher. Now, what makes this important right there? Because you go, okay, Nasdaq's making a new intraday high. Let's look at S&P. Equities open for S&P is here. And it rallies pathetically. I mean, I wouldn't even call that a rally. It barely takes a pre-market high. Hardly. Also sells off, imbalance, and then trades lower. So in other words, just like I taught you in that video, Wednesday last week, we clipped it. I made it how to find the high of the day or some shit like that. What did I tell you to do? To look at the indices. I mean, you guys, we go over this all the time, almost every week. So we have a lower S&P. We go over to Dow. You can already tell this is horrible. Equities open is here. It didn't even rally at all. It just dumped. Okay. So Nasdaq is the only one who rallied above short-term highs, right? So what does that tell you? If one of them is doing something that the other two are not, what does that tell you? What's the answer, chat, before we continue? What is this up here? When we trade above an old high or old highs, because there's two of them here, we don't get to this one. We don't get to Sunday's PM. We had that nasty gap up too. We don't get to that, but we don't have to. Time price context tells us the time. London's high is here. So we don't need to reach for Sunday's high. London's high is enough. Fasting is great. It allows the body to focus on healing itself instead of breaking down food. I usually don't fast. I hardly ever do that. But to each their own. I've done it. I don't like doing it. But there are some benefits to it. Naruto says manipulation. Do you guys agree? Who else is here? I know there's a lot of you in the chat. Is Naruto correct? Is that manipulation up here? What's good, Vadu? You're one of the next ones to get the gold sniper. You, Willow, and another one or two that I don't remember. All right, traded right through that lower imbalance, no longer within that mitigation. See? That's called discernment, my friends. That's called discernment. Even though that setup was there, I said the context isn't. And it looked for a second like we were getting that decent reaction. Instantly gave that up. So that's what a decade of experience will get you. That I'm trying to teach you. Not that I'm trying to show off or anything. But I said, I'm not going to long that. Even though that setup is there. And we would be in heavy drawdown. And that wouldn't be fun. Because Nasdaq will rip your face off. Because that would easily be a few $100 right there. Most people don't like that. So. Trillionaire says, yes, he's correct. Max agrees. Alex C says manipulation. He is the GOAT. He always is. Who? Who is Trillionaire? Naruto? Is Naruto the GOAT? Naruto's going to start a YouTube channel. Let's go. No, I don't know if he is or not. I'm just bullshitting. Nina says, I would agree. Sean says, I agree. Manipulation. Okay. Thank you, chat. Yes. When one of them does something the other two do not, that is a classic signature of manipulation. Okay. Now, to be fair, I don't know what the downside objective would have been because we did run stops on Thursday. But if you remember, man, I don't know if I told you this or not. Or maybe that was Wednesday. No, I did say, okay, no, I did. On Thursday's market review, we went over the final hour, I'm pretty sure. And I went over how we had lows here at 53.05. And then I talked about London's low as well, which we never got to. And I even said that in the market review, like we never got there. So Sunday's open obviously took stops for anyone that was holding over the weekend. And this right here is a classic example of why I don't hold over the weekend, especially if I'm getting in on a Friday or like a Thursday, because this is a Thursday because Good Friday didn't have any, it was closed, right? So whether this was a Thursday or a Friday, this is why I don't hold over the weekend. Because what if your stop was in profit and then it fucking opens up here? It opens like 10 points against your position. And that sucks. So that's a pretty good example of that. But anyway, we end up taking Thursday's low pretty much during our open. Nasdaq does the same thing, but a little bit later. So the time isn't there because that doesn't run that until 10:15. So I'm not entirely sure what I would have targeted for Nasdaq because this is a lower low. These aren't equal. I don't know if I would have entirely targeted that or if I would have expected Thursday's low, because that's kind of a lot from up here. Like when you're looking at it from the macro perspective, you're like, oh man, I don't know if we're going to sell off that much. We did. We did. So, but anyway, the way that we did it, I did find very interesting. And this is one of my favorite entries in the video. Did I make a video about this? It was the S&P in the final hour with that gap. I don't know if I made that a video, but I know I made that in the market review. And I made that a reel. I made it a YouTube short and I showed you the entry. It was perfect. Not to brag, it was perfect because it was a gap fill. Okay. It was the fill of the gap. Now, you have instances like this where it'll overshoot the gap, but that's fine. The bodies are respecting that. At least the first one did, right? Those bodies. It closes either within that or respecting it in a bearish manner, and the next candle of the opening of the next candle opens within that. So it's like the bodies are respecting that. It goes against that gap a little bit, and then it absolutely recklessly trades lower. So that to me was the opportunity for Nasdaq today shorting. Now on a 1 minute time frame, this to me is a little bit sloppy. This is usually a high that you want to see. If you guys ever backtest, please do this. Well, you should. I mean, if you're watching me expecting to learn like everything, I'm going to teach you everything I know, but you're going to need a backtest too. What's good, Willow? And Felix, I'll go over that in just a second. When you're looking at an old high, right? Like just this general segment of price in here. This by itself is cool. But what I'm saying is, look how we traded. We have a high and then we have a higher high, right? And then obviously we break down. Super clear break of structure, right? Obviously. And then we leave behind that imbalance, and then that gap on a 5 minute time frame is here. So what I'm saying is, when the market takes, well, Nasdaq, when it took London's high and then formed that higher high here, we break down. Cool. What did we talk about the other day? This was your sign. This was your signature that the market is giving you a courtesy call, a wake up call saying, hey, I'm about to go the other way, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to get out of your long positions before I rip everyone a new one. And that to me is kind of what that move is here. It's showing you willingness to go lower. It's showing you, hey, I'm the only one trading higher. I'm an outlier. So that's manipulation, distribution from anyone who was long. I mean, smart money, buying, selling above old highs. Cool. They're going to short on the way up, and they're going to heavily short near the highs. Why do you think we consolidate? We don't consolidate for no fucking reason. Okay. That drop here, that's your courtesy call. That's the algorithm going, okay, I've started my move. You may not be in at these highs. I don't always have the confidence to do that. Most people don't. I usually don't anymore. I used to do that a lot, but not anymore. Okay. Then your shift in price deliveries here. You go, okay, now I understand. But I'm not in yet. Well, damn, I didn't get the entry up here. You're not trading for social media. You're trading for you. You're not trading to show off your entries. You're trading to make money, period. Or pass a combine or pass a challenge, whatever. You're here to make money, not to be a goober on social media. So once you get that, okay, cool. Now we can look for a retracement. And the 5 minute gap is enough for me. I don't need to go down into the 1 minute. I usually like to anyway, but you know, there's your confluence. You've got two up candles here. That would be a very, very small time frame mitigation, but an imbalance is enough. That 5 minute gap is enough. That's a premium. That's enough. You have an 80 level right here, 18,580 just before the gap. That could be a level. You might have taken a little bit of drawdown, but that's okay. So you have a imbalance, you have a gap, you have a premium, you have relative strength telling you this is manipulation. You have that clear shift in price delivery. I mean, shit. How much more do you need, my friends? All right. So now, Felix, we'll get into your question. Why did I tell you as we were trading into this? Why did I tell you, hey, the setup itself is a long, but I don't trust it. Okay? I don't trust it. And look, if you were late, go back to the beginning of the stream, go back to that minute marker, because that's another reason why this down here, in between the gold sniper and my social medias, right there, it says 1235. You can go back to that marker, 1205, 1210. I said, I'm not long in this. I don't trust it. Okay. Why? As I said at the time, we have no relative strength in here. The Dow Jones is complete dog shit today. It's horrible. It has almost no movement to the upside. It's dookie. S&P 500, same thing. We have a lower low here at 11, well, 12, 10, 20 to 11, lower low. Nasdaq, same thing. 10, 20 to 11 o'clock. All of the indices made lower lows. There is no signature of a reversal. There's no signature that a low has been made. I said due to context as well. What's the context? Is upside. What is the upside objective supposed to be? If we take everything off here now, if we're looking to long, right? What's the upside? That's part of the mitigation model. If you don't know it, I ain't gonna tell it to you all, but for those of you that are members, you should know it. You have the printout, probably, if you screenshotted it. You know all the rules. The video's been out for 8, 9, 10 months now. You know that if there's no high probability target, there is no trade. Go look at your notes. It's in there. It's not like I time traveled, went back and changed the notes. Been watching a show called Travelers the last couple days. So they're from the future and shit. I'm not from the future, okay? I can't do that. It's in there. What's the high probability target? Maybe what? This consolidation? So we're going to expect for the market to grab stops, trade lower, and then have enough volatility on an intraday basis to trade back up above that? I don't know, man. That seems like a lot. Don't think it's going to do that. So we have no context as far as upside objective. We have no price because we have no signature that a low has been made. No signature. Watch that video. I mean, Felix, I know you know this, but I'm just speaking for everybody else that may not have the same experience that you guys have. If you're new here, go watch that video, how to find the high of the day. You reverse the idea for low. How do you find the low of the day? It's the same shit. It doesn't always have to be like this. But to find the low of the day, right? If this is a high that you're looking for, where one makes a higher high, the other one makes a lower high, that's going to be probably the high of the day. You just invert that same idea for a low. You would have a lower low on one, and then you'd have a higher low on a different one. And I know the drawing is very basic, but I'm trying to be quick. Okay? So when all three of the indices have done a lower low, lower low, lower low, shit. Okay? Perfect drawing here. When all three have made lower lows, that's not a signature. That just means the markets are weak. So I don't want to long a weak market. Make sense? So even though the setup was there, the market will give you setups. But not every setup is worth taking. You understand? Technically the mitigation is both of those candles. And you have two. You have an imbalance up here. And you have that lower one down here. Okay. So I really only pointed out this higher one because it's in the middle of the two candles, it's the higher candle. You know, this is still a deep discount anyway. But earlier, and this was what, 20 minutes ago, I said, yeah, we traded through that lower imbalance as well. That would not be good. So if I had longed in here and I'm immediate drawdown, as soon as it comes back to my entry, I'm out. I'm not going to stay long. Okay. So like this, it kind of reminds me of that time. And I know Libre said this the other day too. He had quoted me. The market usually, not always, but the market usually gives you a chance to break even before it runs to your stop. And I feel like that's almost one of those scenarios where it's like, hey, it's kind of coming back. Well, if I'm long, let's hope it trades higher. Man, no, screw that. If you're on the wrong side of the market and the market's giving you a chance to get out at a super, super small loss or even at a small win, take that. That's what I would do. I'm taking that and I'm walking away because clearly this hasn't been, you know, respected to a high degree. $11 to $12.15. We have a slightly lower low on Dow, higher low on ES, and a slightly higher low on Nasdaq. This actually might be the low now, but when you try to start, I don't want to say over analyzing, but when you start doing stuff like that, you can get caught up pretty easy. So I would just leave this alone. I wouldn't trade this today. Another thing, Felix, if you're still paying attention, the setup for shorts to go lower, that was basically the play. So once you have a setup that has panned out very beautifully, because look at this, it creates an imbalance on the way down. 920, it forms that imbalance, and then 925, it immediately trades into it. These two up candles right here, sells off, minor retracement, and then sells off. Like that was the play. Now that that's done, I think the majority of the move has happened, like meaning the day's range. I think the range has probably been set, and trying to catch something on the upside, I think isn't going to be worth it the same way it would have been going lower. So there's your answer. No context, no target, no price. We had no formation of relative strength at the lows. Well, we have one here, but down here we did not. And then, I mean, the timing, I guess we had time here, but we had no context and no price. It only takes one of the three to not have, meaning you could have time, you could have price. Oh man, this is the PM session. We're below the PM session low. We have a good price action. But just the fact that we don't have context, that's enough to negate a trading opportunity for me, and I'll just let it go. But I'll continue to watch. We won't be here forever, but I'll continue to watch this. This actually might be accumulation. Because look, again, Dow trading lower here, and the other two indices didn't. So on that 15-minute time frame, this almost looks like that next candle entry. So this now probably could be a long, but the 15-minute I think shows a long, but it's like because the 5-minute didn't respect these concepts in here, I'm not going to touch it. So you can be my guest and watch it. Do that. Matter of fact, do that. Don't screenshot my chart. Screenshot your chart on a 15-minute time frame. And just label this next candle entry. NCE. Next candle entry. So what I would do now is say, okay, Watch it on a 1 minute to see if there's bullish order flow for the PM session. If this is accumulation, Nasdaqs are strong. Even though all three are red, Nasdaq is technically the strongest today. So if we're going to get some sort of reversal, we should have almost no problem going back to our equities open for today on Nasdaq. Does that make sense? But Felix, no divergence, no trade. I wouldn't necessarily say that, but relative strength does play a big role in understanding where the high should be. When you understand where the high or the low should be, for me, it's easier to place trades because now I can trust the stop. When you first get into trading, and if you don't know what you're doing, which most of us, all of us don't know what we're doing when we first start. The problem is if we start taking losses back to back to back, especially, let's just say Dow Jones. There's someone out there, there's a bunch of goobers out. I only trade US 30. All right. So if some of those people just took, oh, there's an imbalance right there. They longed the imbalance and then got stopped out at the low and then the market reverses. When you take 2, 3, 4, 5 losses back to back to back, as soon as that happens, doubt is going to kick in. Oh man, I don't know if I should take another trade because every time I put my stop at the low, it gets fucking stopped out. What am I doing wrong? I don't, I can't trust this. I can't trust this. So that's why, to me, when I'm looking for relative strength, if I'm looking at a low and I think, hey, you know what? This could be our low of the day. If I'm entering somewhat near that and I have my stop here, I'm comfortable with that. So what you have to realize, and I'll put this out here. We'll clip this too. So what you have to realize in trading, okay, there's 3 components. Most of you know this, but I'm going to go over this another again, basically. There's pretty much 3 components to successful trading. The successful traders trio is basically what, I call it. I didn't create that, but it's what it is. Okay, and this is something Larry Williams said as well. But that's a 3, by the way. So the 3 components, right? You have your risk management, your money management, you have your trading edge, and then you have your psychology, right? The psychological skills to implement the risk management, implement the strategy or whatever. And you need all 3. If you take one of them away, it falls apart. You could have a good strategy and the psychological skills to implement that, but if you over leverage, as soon as you lose, you're fucked. I probably shouldn't cuss in the clips, but it's fine. If you have good money management and you have a wonderful trading edge, but you don't have the psychological skills to enter trades, to hold trades, you're going to underperform and you're done, right? Like it's going to be horrible. And I don't know what example I didn't do, but basically you get my point, right? You need all 3. You cannot have 2 of the 3. It's just like a tripod. It's just like a ring light. All of you have fucking ring lights. I know you do, right? If it's a tripod, it will not stand on 2 legs. It will not. Trading is the same way. Have you ever thought about why my watermark is 3? Time, price, context? Have you ever thought about that? No, John, I don't ever look into it that deep. Well, you better become a philosopher real fucking quick, okay? You got to learn to think. But anyway, my point is this. If you have technical analysis, okay, we'll just put that as your edge, your technical analysis. And then we're just going to use the umbrella term of psychology down here. The technical analysis will help the psychology. Does that make sense? They will help each other. Meaning, that's why I used this example or a few minutes ago of if you're constantly getting stopped out at the low and then the market reverses, you don't understand that the market's manipulated. You don't understand that you're putting your stop loss where everyone else has their stop loss. And it's okay. We all have to go through the fire. Okay. But I'm trying to teach you how to not get burned. When you understand that, you understand a little bit more about technical analysis. Oh, well, relative strength a lot of the times creates the low of the day. Okay. Well, this might have been a setup I used to take and I would have got stopped out at this low, but now that I waited because I'm patient, now I can get in on a retracement and I can have my stop at that low, trusting that it won't hit that low. And so if we got in on the imbalance here or even that lower imbalance, sure, we would have been immediately in the drawdown. But it doesn't go to the low, does it? It trades off of it and goes back to an entry where we can break even, or it goes this lower imbalance. It gives us something that is profitable at the moment or at that time. So we could either go break even or just get out and say, you know what, I don't want to be a part of this anymore because these concepts aren't being respected on small time frame, but it's giving me a chance to get out. I'm just going to take it and walk away. That's what I'm saying. So they will help each other out. The technical analysis and the psychology will help one another. So the more, I don't want to say the more you know, but the more you know of the right things in technical analysis, that will spill over into the psychology side. Now, the money management part, if you have that down, you really shouldn't be too worried about the risk side. If you risked 1 or 2% or even 0.25%, something that you're comfortable with, the risk should not even be an issue. You should predefine your risk before you get into a trade anyway. So if you over leveraged here, right, not having the risk, that's going to fuck up the psychology side. And when your psychology side isn't good to go, you're not going to have the mental capacity to understand the technical analysis side, not understanding that you might be able to hold this trade or you might need to be able to get out of it. You're going to look at this going, oh man, it's going my way. It's going my way. It's finally, green, and then instantly red. And now you're going, oh fuck, I don't know what to do now. Should I hold it? Should I get out of it? Should I take no, I don't want to just take the loss. I mean, I'm already on a 2 or 3 losing streak. I don't know. And then you're just going to have that internal battle, that internal dialogue with yourself. And then you know what? That's not going to be good trading. That's not good trading. That's going to be horrible. So understanding technical analysis to a higher degree will spill over to help your psychology, so long as your risk is good. You see what I'm saying? You're not over leveraging and you're not like doing stupid shit. And we'll end the clip on that. But anyway, I don't know how we got here, but here we are. I don't know what else to say that. But yeah, so again, we'll watch it. Did you guys screenshot the 15-minute time frame, labeling this the next candle entry? Just for study's sake? Because we're going to hop off here in a few minutes, and I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the day. I don't know. But I feel like if relative strength is set the low, then this could easily trade higher. Am I making sense, everybody? can't tell. I can't tell if we took those lows or not. It doesn't look that way. But anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you today. You guys good with that? You guys got any more questions? And then I'll briefly go over 48 laws and then we'll hop off here. Matter of fact, let me ask the chat real quick. Have any of you read 48 Laws? 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. And drop a like if you got some value today. Have you read 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene? Let me know before I get into it. It's been out for a long time, dude. It's not a new book. It's very old. Naruto says, I own it, haven't read it. Yeah, you're banned. Good luck to you. You had the gold sniper for like 3 days. It was nice knowing you. Felix said half of it. Cameron said I'm on law 29. Oh, Cameron, that's a good point. That's a good point. That is one point I was going to make today. So 48 Laws of Power is the first book that I did not read from beginning to end. It's not a book that really is meant to be read in order, I don't think. Well, the last one is last for a reason, because basically the last one kind of negates all the other ones. It's kind of cool. But in the traditional sense of reading books, you read from the front cover to the back cover, left to right. But I didn't read this book that way. If you guys have it, or if you want to look at it, all the laws are on the back. So all the chapters are literally labeled, 1, never outshine the master. 2, never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies. 3, conceal your intentions, right? So on and so forth. So what I did when I got this book, I actually sat on it for a long time. Now, I didn't sit on it, but I'm saying it sat on the bookshelf for a long time. And then when I finally got into it, mainly because of Ryan Holiday, I skipped around and I looked at it and I said, okay, well, what looks good to me? What looks good to me? And then I started on like number 15 or number 9, or, I'd skip around to number 37, so on and so forth. I didn't read it in order. So having 48 Laws of Power for book of the month, if you read one law every day, even, Friday, Saturday, so even on the weekend, obviously it would take you what? 48 days to complete, which means you won't complete that in a month. And that's okay. I'm telling you, most of you won't. I didn't. It's a brick of a book, dude. It's long. It's very thorough. And that's okay. But this book is worth reading for numerous reasons. I've even made shorts about this. I've made, I don't know if it was on Instagram or not, but 48 Laws. To some people, it can seem immoral. Oh, well, it's telling you how to be an asshole. It's telling you how to, it's telling you how to be powerful, right? And in a lot of these cases, you would think, oh yeah, this isn't moral. Like, let me see. Like number 7, for example, get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. Yeah, that makes you an asshole. I get that. Number 11, learn to keep people dependent on you. Yeah, that's going to make you an asshole. But here's the thing. You don't necessarily learn the game or the rules of power in order to use that for yourself. I know a lot of people on Twitter who use it. I know mentors who use it. Okay. I'm not going to say I haven't done certain things from this book. Okay. But if you don't want to use it for yourself, that's fine. If anything, I recommend it. But the reason is you need to equip yourself with the knowledge in this book in order to play defense against people who want to take power over you. You see what I'm saying? Or you might be able to help your family member or a coworker or something because you might see their situation from the outside. Like someone might have relationship issues and they might be coming to you like, hey, I'm having these issues, whatever. And you might be like, oh, well, no shit, you're dating a narcissist. You know what I mean? Don't say that. But I'm saying you can learn how to recognize shady fucking people before it's too late. Another reason we're reading 48 Laws is because, you know, you guys know that I was basically going to be an educator for an organization, right? And that fell through completely. I was blindsided because I didn't see, well, I saw some of the signs leading up to, what the fuck happened to my music, dude? Sorry. My music went out for a minute. Can't think straight without music. And that deal fell through, right? And I was seeing these subtle little things that not just one person, but that some people would do and they would say. And I was like, that's a little weird. That's a little bit concerning. And I didn't really put those pieces together because I am somebody now who is a little bit more forgiving. People make mistakes. People aren't perfect. If I pointed out everybody's flaws, bro, I would never get married. I would never be in a relationship. I would never have friends. You know what I'm saying? To sit there and be like, well, you shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? So I'm a very forgiving person now that I'm 30. And so certain things I'm like, oh, that's cool. Whatever. And so I basically trusted these people because of the things that they said. And it was the things that they did that didn't add up. Let me give you an example. So in 48 Laws of Power, if you have it, who was that? Naruto earlier, right? You're unbanned. Come back to us. Go to law number 9. Law number 9 is win through your actions, never through argument. Now, it's kind of a fancy word of saying actions speak louder than words. Don't argue with somebody. Just show them what you've done. So going into that potential business relationship, there were things that I did in order to prove that I wanted to be a part of this organization, right? I went out of my way to go to meetings. I don't want to brag, but I mean, I spent hundreds of dollars on books to give to some of these people. I mean, dude, I was dishing out books fucking left and right. I'm like, here's 4 or 5 books. Here's 3 or 4 books. Here's this, here's that. I mean, I bought a lot of shit, dude. I was like, here's some journals. Here's this and that. Like, I was investing. Law of the dividend, 17 laws of teamwork, right? You have to invest into your team to you know, receive those dividends over time. So I'm investing into a team. I was making my point and proving my worth through my actions, right? I've been on YouTube every week since we started, minus 2 weeks ago when I had internet issues. That was outside of my control. Otherwise, I've been here every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday from the jump. Every Tuesday and Thursday, you get a market review from the jump, minus the once or twice I forgot to upload it and you guys didn't tell me. That was an honest mistake, but you still got the review. Might have been like once or twice. I have established this channel, right, as basically someone that's reliable to, you can come here. It's free for everybody to be here. The chat is member only, but that's just one of the benefits, right? I am proving myself through actions, giving you trades in advance, giving you trading models, giving you a bias. I'm lending my expertise by saying, I don't think this is a long, right? It's action oriented, even though I talk to you a lot, but it's action oriented. So if I look at the actions of these individuals who I was going to do business with, the actions were not aligning with what was being said. Saying one thing and doing another. I fucking despise that. I despise that with like every fiber of my being, bro. And it's irritating if I do it. If I tell you, hey, I'll drop book of the month, and then I don't do it, I feel disgusted with myself. But the only reason I didn't do it the other day, I went to the emergency room, cut me some fucking slack here. Couldn't see. All right. I went to bed at like 8 p.m., dude. As soon as I got back home, I laid in bed for like 5 hours before I went to bed. It was horrible. It was a horrible experience, and I don't recommend it. But outside of that, I do my best to do the things that I tell you I'm going to do, because I utterly despise saying one thing and doing another. So hopefully that's enough to get you to understand that the 48 Laws of Power is worth reading. Again, the biggest takeaway is not to use it for yourself, because I promise if you do the things in 48 Laws of Power, you are going to be miserable. You are going to be miserable, okay? It's a playbook for defense. It's a defensive playbook, all right? So you're not going to be a star quarterback. You're going to be basically, you're going to be a safety, pretty much. Trying to read the offense, trying to read people's actions. What are they doing? Are they trying to fake it to go this way? Are they trying to throw it over my head? Are they trying to run it up the middle? What are they trying to do here? How are they trying to finesse me or finesse other people? And this is your defensive playbook, my friends. All right. So if I can't convince you, or if I haven't convinced you to buy it, maybe I failed to do so. But if you read one law per day, which won't take you more than 10, 15 minutes, you can get this done in 2 months, 48 days, a month and a half. What is that? 6 weeks, maybe? 7 times 7 is 49, right? So 7 weeks. So you could be done by May, or what the fuck, June? Yeah. You could be done by June 20th. And that could be one more book that you could get in for this year and in your lifetime. But I agree, Willow. If we can't forgive others, how can we expect Jesus to forgive us? Amen, brother. Amen. You brought a lot of student to the company because everyone wanted to... Hold on. What did you say? I brought a lot of students to the company because everyone wanted to get educated by you. Well, everybody can come here to YouTube. Everybody can come here to my YouTube. I'm not giving this up. Not giving up my YouTube. I don't care how big a check is or could be. Wasn't even offered a check, but you could offer me a check and I'm not going to take it. I'm not doing it. Hardly any rally in the Dow, barely anything in the S&P, and a little bit on the Nasdaq. So I'll continue to watch this, but we have 1 minute equal low, so that might be problematic. But as long as you screenshotted the 15-minute time frame for like that next candle entry, we're going to study, obviously, after the market closes. We're going to see what happens. So this is what I mean when I say label it. Because it was this divergence here and then this candle. So it should look something like this. I'm not saying to long. I didn't say trade this on a live account. I didn't tell Dennis to put the fucking farm on it like last time. It's just for example's sake. That this to me minus this right here. That's what I'm saying. Screenshot that on your chart just to see what happens. Okay. Your eyes are the window to your soul. Best believe I know that. Sorry you scratched your eye. Yeah, it's cool. I don't know what happened, dude. Literally just walking, and then out of nowhere, my shit just started hurting. It was windy outside too, so that's why I assume something just came by and hit me with a blap. So, what can you do? I missed short on NQ. Wanted to see the last liquidity grab. Did not like the formation at the high. Yeah, I understand. I mean, I went over that a little bit earlier, but I understand. It wasn't the greatest. I agree. Feel like I missed the trade of the century? No, I wasn't the trade of the century. Trust me. Coffee was the trade of the century. None of you probably remember that, and that's okay. Orange juice was as well, but we'll do coffee. That was way back in the day. Right down here. See, I've still got the markup here from when I told you last time. I called that out in July of 2020. This down candle right here. That was at 92. That was the trade of the century. From 92 up to 240 on coffee. That bitch ran for like 2 years. But anyway, that's going to be it, guys. So, and we're over time a little bit too, and that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, hopefully you guys learned something. Drop a like if you're still here. If you got some value added today. 45 people on here, 28 likes. Let's see if we can get a couple more. 48 Laws of Power is going to be our book of the month for April 2024. And that's probably going to spill over into May as well. If you read one a day, it'll take you 7 weeks. So that's okay. But book of the month / next 2 months. 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Grab a copy. It's not expensive. The leather one I think is like $55. Which I do have, but that's a collectible. I only touched it like one time. The paperback is $14.55 on Amazon. $25 for the hardcover. I don't know why anybody would get the hardcover, but it's on Amazon. It's super cheap. There's the link if you need it. Y'all be good, man. We'll be here same time, same place on Tuesday, tomorrow, for our next live session.
control, and I will show you. I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll show you.